Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming back at you with another one of my Robotech updates. And this is July 11th, and this is the best update so far. Let's go ahead and bring up my source, which is robotechgamecenter.com. You can check out these updates yourself. Now, what we're going to be talking about is update 148, right? It's Robotech RPG Tactics manufacturing, shipping, and Gencon. So what they're going to be talking about now is possible ship dates. Now, if you take a look, and I'm going to read and show pictures and kind of give you my 2 cents. For a few weeks now, we have been holding off on announcing when we thought Robotech RPG Tactics should arrive from China and begin to ship to our 5,200 Kickstarter backers. And they're glad they did, because they've had so many different, delays and in manufacturing and hiccups where they had to get things fixed and retooled and remanufactured, retested, and the process has taken a little bit of time, but the end is in sight. The big one is, the reason for that is many. Okay, you don't realize, a lot of people don't realize how many different parts go into making just a simple box set. If you were to think about it, I mean, I'm not even going to look at that, but well, here it even says it. Command point to. Well, let's start off. They got to make a rule book. Just making a rule book is complicated because you got cover, you got interior art, you got all the writing, you got to proofread it, you got to make sure it gets printed, you got to make sure it's bound. That's just the book. Then you got stat cards, same thing. There's going to be pictures on the cards. There's got to be graphics. It's got to be laid out just right. It has to match what the rules say, and the cards have to be cut out. And yeah, okay. And then you got various types of and sizes. Then you have the dice. So you've got another company that's making dice for the game and input, and stamping it with something other than just 1 through 6, because like you got the Zentradi and you got the UEDF logos, and those you can't just go to a dice company and say, hey, just print us out some dice, because that's not what they wanted. They wanted specific dice. Yeah, you can use a D6, that's no problem. They could have just gotten D6 and thrown it in there, but that's not what they want. And because a lot of us pledged for special dice, but then they also want to get regular dice for the game too. Command point tokens. They got to get little tokens made. The stamps had to be made. Plastic had to be chosen. They had to be made. Then you have the game pieces. Every single model in the game is just that. It's a model. So you're going to have multiple pieces, maybe 20 or 30 pieces, just to make a simple figure. Now, if you ever played BattleTech or Warhammer, how many pieces make up a model? Maybe 5, 6 pieces. So you got like legs and a torso glues on it, and then maybe you've got an arm on each side, and you're pretty much done, right? Well, that's not the way it is in the Robotech Tactics. You're going to have the torso, which is probably 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces that you have to glue together to form the torso. Then you're going to have to glue the upper legs to the lower legs, which are probably 2 pieces that have to be glued together themselves. Then you got the arms, and then you got maybe different weapon pods that go on those arms, different types of heads. So what is that? Just so far, just thinking at the top of my head, we got 5 for the torso, 5, 6, an antenna, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Somewhere around 20 parts per model. And I was just thinking of a Battloid. When you talk about the Veritex or whatever, you're probably looking at more than 20 pieces. Who knows? We're going to have to see. Okay, so we're talking about that. Then you got the instruction sheets. Yeah, the instruction sheets come out, and those are basically, what is that? Not the rules? That's right. That would be like a sheet how to put the models together. So every time they made a change to the model, they would also have to go back in and make a change to that instruction sheet. If they didn't, then the instruction sheet wouldn't match up with what the models are doing. Then they have packaging. Okay, so think of this. Like if they put some sprues of some model sprues of parts in the box, they might put them in some kind of shrink wrapped plastic bag, right? And then maybe the dice are in like a little Ziploc bag, possibly. Maybe the cards have a little plastic thing that go around them. Maybe there's a hero character like Miria. She might have her own box. Then there might be a Max box. Those would be separate from the big box, and all that has to be done, right? Then you got prints. Okay, well, the prints are basically pictures. I think that some people that pledged are supposed to be getting specific wall, frameable prints that they could put on their walls or what have you. That's, first of all, that's awesome. And then et cetera, et cetera. There's other things too, like the box itself has to be printed and cut and folded and assembled, the main box. And so all of that needs to be printed, trimmed, molded, pressed, gathered, collated, packaged, shrink wrapped, okay, because the actual box itself has to be shrink wrapped, and boxed and skidded, basically palletized, for shipping. Half of it gets shipped from one factory to another factory to get put together. So basically they have basically two locations because they couldn't fit it all in one location, right? So they have what they got, right? And any kind of delay could cause a major delay, 3 or 4 days, okay? Or they say 1 to 4 days each time they have a snafu, okay? And if you don't know what a snafu is, it's a situation normal all effed up, okay? So situation normal all fouled up. So now remember, a lot of the plastic parts are being, model kits are being molded in China. So they have to give them the thumbs up, right? And then have China, crank the things out like a sweat factory, right? And then ship them to the US. And yes, literally ship them. So they will come in on boats. Now it's going to take a week, something like that, for it to cross the ocean. Okay, so these are not like emailed across, it's not coming over in just 24 hours. It's not FedExed because there's so much on huge pallets. They don't need to get that FedEx. It would just be cost ineffective. So they're going to have it, of course, like most things that come into the US, will be shipped. Okay, so far so good. Now here's their plan. And this is how they look right now, barring any unexpected delays. This is the most important part. You want to listen to this. Even a short delay could change everything, but as they're reading, as you're listening to this. But Palladium will receive a container of product every week to 10 days, starting in August. Starting in August, not July. The first container should leave China July 17th and arrive in Los Angeles July 31st, and then the Palladium truck should arrive at the warehouse by August 8th. So you're not getting it by August 8th. It's getting to their warehouse. Now they have to put it all together. That's just getting the parts. Now once they get all the parts, then they get their little minions out there, and they're like, they have their little assembly line thing going on, and like I'll put the stickers in, you move it on. I'll put the Veritech heads in, you move it on. I'll put the bodies in, you move it on. Okay, so they're going to crank out the boxes as fast as they can, and as soon as they get the product, they're going to start shipping to the Kickstarter supporters. That's right. That's me. That's you if you're watching this video, most likely. And then they're going to continue to ship the product. Like as soon as they can get those boxes put together, they're going to pull up a roster, probably first come first serve. Like first backers are probably going to get their boxes first, so if you're backer 1, awesome. So when they get their stuff, and how long is it going to take them to package it, on August 8th? They're probably all going to celebrate and have a big party, so they'll all be hung over on August 9th. So there probably won't be any boxes going out till August 10th. That's just me thinking out loud. Okay, so on August 10th, they box it, they get it to post office, UPS, however they're going to ship it. They ship it out. You'll probably get it like 2 or 3 days later. So we're looking at maybe exactly the middle of the month, August 14th, 15th. That's when you should probably start seeing Robotech Tactics in people's hands. Okay, so far so good, right? Now, and then as fast as they can box them and get them shrink wrapped and ready to ship, they'll ship them. So how many per day are they going to ship? Hundreds, thousands maybe, depending on just how fast they can get these things done. Probably not thousands, but they'll ship hundreds a day probably, depending on how big of an operation they've got going on there. Okay, let me back up. As soon as we get the product, we're going to start shipping the valued Kickstarters. Our second container should be arriving in the same week. So basically they're going to get the first shipments, the first week, they're probably going to get a couple of different packages, boom, boom. And then each week after that, they're going to get another package. That's as fast as they can produce them in China, ship them, and get them to the US. Okay, so there's going to be like a steady stream of product going out until they get all 5,200 people with their product. But, okay guys, they're a company, right? So they're going to Gencon Indianapolis. So they're going to go to Gencon, but they want to take some product with them so they can show this off, because not only are you a backer, but you also want to have people to play against, and that you want this product to be successful. You want them to be able to actually sell it to the market. You don't want to be an exclusive. You don't want it to be a collectible where you get it and now it's over with. You want this game to thrive and produce future models and rule books and expansions in the future, right? So they are going to take their Wave 1 products, which is not the full wave, because, you know, some of us backers have stuff way down on the list that you're not going to see this first wave. This first wave is just the basic box set. That's my understanding. The basic box set. And the expandable stuff, like my Ghost Fighters and my SDF-1 model and my Mach 3 monster, or whatever it is, I can't remember. The monster, you know, those aren't coming out Wave 1. I don't think that's Wave 1. If it is, that's awesome, but I don't think it is. Okay, so the product, they're going to take some product, you know, a couple of hundred boxes maybe, to Gencon Indy. Okay, and when they go to Gencon Indy, they're going to show off the product. Sure, they're going to let people see it. They're going to sell the first 100 boxes to people that go to Gen Con. Big deal. Yes, they're going to do that. And but the main reason why they're doing that is because they want people to get their hands on it. And kind of, when you're looking at tens of thousands of people that go to Gen Con, they're going to want tens of thousands of opportunities to have seen that product, that game. So by putting it out there in the market, a bunch of people might see it that have never seen it before, didn't even know there was a Kickstarter, and said, oh man, Robotech, cool, where'd you get that? And then they come over to the Palladium booth and they check it out, right? And then maybe they go, oh cool. They can't buy it because the first 100 have sold out in the first 5 minutes. So they have to go, oh man, okay, I'll get it when it comes out available on store. But at least that went out. And plus you're going to have media there. You're going to have guys, Gen Con's packed full of cameras, and you know, it's like a Comic-Con, right? So they're going to be walking around and they're going to be saying, oh, what's this? There's a new game. Let's talk about it. Let's put you on YouTube. Let's put you out there on Twitch or wherever people are checking out Gen Con, and they're going to see, and that's advertising, and you can't expect anything less from them, and I fully support them, and that's just something you got to do. As a gamer, I plan to promote this game quite a bit. I'm gonna be going around to my local game stores. I'm gonna go to conventions. I'm gonna demonstrate this game. I'm gonna play it. If RPG Tactics had any kind of like bounty hunter, or what do they call them, outrider, or what else does the other company call them, marshals, or you know, basically a guy that goes out and promotes their game for them. If they had a program like that, I would sign up for that program in a heartbeat. And pretty much I'm going to go look real, you know, probably after this video to see if they do, because I know that there's a couple of local game stores in this area that are interested in seeing the product ahead of time. They're also interested in me showing off the product so that they can sell it. And so I plan to jump on that ASAP if that's an option. If it's not an option, no big deal. I'm going to do it on my own anyway. Okay, so I just like to get some free swag, like maybe a t-shirt or something. I'd be happy with that. There's a few hundred people that are going to get the Kickstarter before the Kickstarters. Okay, and that's okay, you know, because as they're at Gen Con, they're still going to be shipping, you know. And I didn't actually kickstart this project to be the first one to get the game. That's not why I kickstarted it. I kickstarted it because, damn, we needed this game. This game needed to come out 10 years ago, you know. This is a game that the miniature gaming community needs badly. So I wanted the world to be able to experience this, and you and me and everyone else that have backed this game, I think that's really why we backed it. Not because, ooh, I wanted to be the first one to get it. Okay, now Palladium begins shipping Kickstarter supporters before they leave for Gen Con, and they'll continue to ship while they're at Gen Con. Remember that there's more than 5,200 Kickstarter supporters, all of whom have ordered add-ons, so it'll be several weeks to ship them. So what they're saying is, if it's a Robotech add-on, they're going to have Robotech models, so they can go ahead and include those add-ons. But if it's some, I'm just using that as an example. But if it's a add-on that you can't add, then those are just going to have to be added at a later time. They're not going to bring any orders to Gen Con. Okay, so the couple hundred boxes that they're bringing, hell, that's going to fill up a trailer all by itself. So they're not going to be able to bring a couple hundred boxes and then when you show up, say, hey, this is, I have a backer, give me my box. They're not going to do it because they want those couple of hundred to go out to people that haven't backed. And then but you're still going to get yours shipped. Okay, because too many people, there's 5,200 of us, we'd all ask them to bring it to Gen Con, and if they brought 5,200 boxes, they wouldn't be able to, first of all, the timing's not right, they're not going to be able to get their packages in time to be able to do that, and even if they did, they'd have to bring a semi-truck to deliver it, and come on guys, no, that's not going to happen. Okay, so, but go ahead and visit their booth. Their booth is going to be number 1223 and see what they bring in. You get to see the models, you get to see the rule book, you get to basically see their demo, and then shake hands, and all that good stuff. Now here's the pictures. Here we go. This is some of you, this is the most important part because pictures are all you care about. But here we go. Okay, this is battle foam bags, Robotech Tactics battle foam bags. I have 3 of these already. Okay, I don't have the Robotech ones, but I do have battle foam bags. I've got 3 of them. And are they awesome? Yes. Are they super awesome? Yes. Okay, if I had one that said Robotech on the side, would it be cool? Yes. Okay, having said that, I have 3 already. I just don't need that Robotech logo. I can go pull mine out of my garage because I don't have any miniatures in them now. And then I will cram some Robotech miniatures in there and I'll be squared away. The reason why I have them, I originally bought them for a game out there called AT43? AT43? I don't remember. Okay, it's AT43, which was a was a sci-fi game. It was like multinational, futuristic, sci-fi mecha walking around, big, 25 millimeter like soldiers and stuff. You had some aliens. They basically had like like a robotic alien, and then you've got this bunch of human different factions, like the Russians and the Germans, and yeah, and it was pretty cool. It was a super, all the miniatures came pre-painted and put together and assembled. It's a lot like HeroClix in the fact that there was no painting needed and that kind of plastic, but there was the base wasn't a clicky base. It was still a dice game, and it's made by the same guys that made Confrontation. It's basically the same rules as Confrontation, and it was a pretty awesome game, but it just didn't kick off the ground. I mean, there was just not enough people playing the game. We pushed it hard here in the local game stores, and there's some people that play it, but the product support just stopped. There just wasn't enough interest, and the translations from French to English to German was just all kind of screwy, and basically the game just went out of production. So when that happened, I went ahead and sold all my miniatures on eBay. So if you see them out there, it was probably, whatever. And once I got rid of them all, but I kept those foam bags because those foam bags are just so awesome. But now I'm going to have to put some like Robotechs and Destroids in them. Okay, sorry this video is going on too long. This is just an update, so I just wanted to let you know what's going on. So but now they have 9 tall pallets of battle foam bags. You can see the pallets all right there. Okay, that's cool. And then look at here's some factory photos. Now these are photos from China, right? This is them loading the sprues into boxes. That's Spartan sprues. There's more Spartans. They're showing them all the boxes already packed, getting ready to be shipped. It's tough to make out because, you know, they're trying to like zoom in on this. Valkyrie Battloids, because you know the Valkyries have to have 3 different poses. And then what about these? These are the, standing next to them are the Valkyrie Fighters and Guardians. Okay, that's a lot of boxes coming. Okay, and you can see that there's hundreds of sprues that are going to be in each box, thousands. Assembly of the main game box and its components are scheduled to begin last night. Was scheduled to begin last night, so we're expected to get some production samples any day now. Hopefully we'll be able to post, because they're probably going to FedEx some like samples just to make sure that they get everything correct, you know. But then the main boxes are going on the boat this weekend, so needless to say, we're getting pretty excited here. Absolutely. All right, well, that was the update 148 shipping. So thanks for coming out and checking out this video. I hope you're excited as I am. I'll catch you on the battlefield.